Hi everybody, my name is Nick Doyle. Welcome to my channel where I will share my journey towards financial independence and discuss personal finance and investing. I've been on the journey towards financial independence for a few years now, which is having my investments produce enough income to live on. Think about how awesome that would be to be able to maintain your lifestyle and not have to do anything. Over the past few years, I've managed to save over 50% of my income and build a portfolio that generates over $1,000 a month in passive income. I have stocks in over 11,000 companies around the world. While personal finance and investing may seem complicated or intimidating, it's not. It's actually fairly simple and is one of the best things you can invest a little time in to greatly improve your quality of life. Today, I'm going to talk about healthy financial habits. This is step one and is difficult for many. It's crucial, especially in times like now where people are having their hours reduced or getting laid off. While this affects all of us, those with healthy financial habits are better equipped to live through this with less impact and stress and anxiety. Let's look at two hypothetical people, Joe and Sally. Both are professionals with the same job in the same city, making the same salary. Joe's motto is, "You only live once and you better live it up now." He just bought a house with 3% down, he drives a luxury vehicle on lease, owns a boat, has the latest designer clothes, goes out to eat for lunch nearly every day, and spends most nights out partying. His mortgage, car, and boat payments are roughly 75% of his income. He spends the rest. He pays for most things on credit cards and just makes the minimum monthly payment. That's fine, he thinks. He'll deal with it later. Sally watches every penny she spends and is able to save half of her income. Her friends sometimes think she is too conservative and could afford to live a little. However, she's happy and spends a good amount of money on things she really enjoys, which are travel and photography. She has her dream camera with several great lenses and travels internationally a couple times a year to experience different cultures and take great photos. However, she lives in a small apartment, drives a 5-year-old economy car, buys second-hand clothes, takes her lunch most days, is debt-free, and saves as much as possible. While Joe may appear to be doing better than Sally, he doesn't have an emergency fund and is one economic downturn away from financial ruin. He's paying over $5,000 a year in interest and doesn't have any plan for how to retire or pay for his future children's education. He bypasses the opportunity to get the free 401k match from his employer since he doesn't understand investments and will figure it out later. Sally has a cushion of 6 months' expenses saved in a high-yield savings account and an investment portfolio approaching $100,000. Between the two of these, her interest and dividends are over $3,000 a year. She reinvests this money instead of spending it. She spent a couple weekends teaching herself the basics of personal finance and investing and manages her own portfolio. She gets the full 401k match from her employer, she maxes out her retirement accounts, and she's going to be financially independent in her early 30s. And above all else, Sally remembers to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Most people will be somewhere in between Joe and Sally. However, most people are closer to Joe. Too many Americans would have difficulty faced with a $1,000 unexpected expense. They have very little, if any, saved for retirement. They are living a lifestyle of consumption and spend nearly every dollar they make. When I bought a car a few years ago, I went to some different dealerships and all the salespeople wanted to know, what did I want my monthly payment to be? This is a dumb question, I thought. And my answer was, I don't really care if it's $100 or $1,000. I care what the overall cost is. The most important thing you need to do is stop thinking about things in terms of monthly payments and focus on the overall cost. Your financial success is not based on how much money you make and how much monthly payments you can afford. You will never be able to build wealth this way. Wealth is built by keeping as much of your money as possible. Someone making $50,000 a year and saving 20% of their income will be wealthier than someone making $500,000 a year who spends it all. Instead of making monthly interest payments, you want to put your money to work for you. It's much better to get paid for doing nothing and provides a lot more freedom and flexibility. It starts with building healthy financial habits. You need to start thinking about your net worth instead of how much money you make. Your net worth is all of the things you own minus all of your debts. You need to focus on growing this. Growing your income will always help, but if you don't have healthy financial habits, you will spend it all and never build wealth. You will be trapped and have to go to work to make your monthly payments. Your lifestyle will be at risk of losing a job or other unexpected circumstances. I'm sure you've all heard about lottery winners that quickly go bankrupt. They illustrate how bad habits will ruin what could otherwise have been great wealth. Building good habits is the first step on your financial journey and is hard for many people. It may mean cutting back, having less material possessions or status symbols. But what would you rather have? A secure and less stressful life, or impress people with your latest purchase? Who do you want to control your life? You or them? I recommend cutting on everything that you are not passionate about. I am passionate about travel, cultural experiences, and living in a nice place close to work. I spend a good amount of money on these items, but I've cut my budget to the minimum in other areas. For instance, I don't need a phone as powerful as a professional laptop. I have a mid-range phone on Google Fi. I buy phones when they're on discount just as the new ones are starting to come out. I don't have unlimited data and download podcasts or music before I leave home. This brings my monthly phone costs to $50 a month, including the phone. Similarly, I drive a 7-year-old Nissan Rogue with 100,000 miles on it. I bought this with a 0% loan and paid it off a couple years ago. It's reliable and gets me where I need to go just as well as a brand new Tesla. When I go out to eat, I drink water. It's healthier and it doesn't cost anything. I recently bought a high-end office chair, but I bought it off Craigslist for less than half the price of a new one. I am very frugal. However, I travel roughly once per month, including a couple international trips each year, and I've spent extra on rent to live in a nice place near work. These trade-offs will be different for everyone. The important thing is to be deliberate about how you're spending your money and choose to spend it on things that are actually important to you. And you have to make sure you don't spend all of it, because the more you save, the faster you'll be financially free. There are 4 habits you should build for a good foundation. Number 1 is invest in yourself. You are your most valuable asset. There are so many free or extremely low-cost options out there for building your skills and growing your earning potential. You would be a fool not to take advantage of them. Start with just 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. You'll be surprised at how much this pays off in the long term. The important thing is to build the habit and continue to learn and grow. It should be possible to double your income in just 5 years, whether in your current career, changing careers, or taking on side hustles. Additionally, once you have these skills, nobody can take them away. If your current employer doesn't value them, find one that does. Number 2, create a budget and reduce expenses. Most people don't know where their money is going. It comes in every other week and they spend it all before the next paycheck arrives. You should at least understand what you're spending on and be deliberate about how you spend it. Determine the categories of your expenses and how much money you want to spend in each, and then keep yourself on track. I never hit my monthly budget perfectly. but it's helped me reduce my spending and keep it roughly on track. Number 3, build an emergency fund. You need to have enough money to pay for unexpected expenses. If you're working on paying off debt, 3 months is probably enough. Otherwise, I would aim for 6 to 9 months. You have your budget, so you know how much this should be. Number 4, pay off high interest debt. Some debt is okay, like reasonable home or car loans. These generally have low enough interest rates where it makes more sense to invest than to pay off early. However, anything over 4 to 5% interest is probably too much, and you get a better return just by paying off the debt. If you have this high interest rate debt, you need to get rid of it. You may need to make some sacrifices and drastically reduce spending in order to do so. Find areas of your budget that are less important and ruthlessly cut the expenses. You may even need to go as far as selling your house or car for another one that's more affordable. But it's better to build a good financial foundation and plan for the future than to have material items now. Building this foundation is a massive task for many people. It took me a few years to establish a good foundation after college. I graduated in the middle of the '08 crisis. I had a low-paying starting job, and I was a bit foolish and didn't save very much of my money. However, it's never too late. It may take years just to get to a zero net worth, but it is worth it. You don't want to be trapped and broke. Take control and act now. Every journey starts with a single step. If you already have a good foundation, consider how you can make it even stronger. You're probably overspending on some things that don't really matter. You could probably negotiate some of your bills down or shop around for items like phone bills or car insurance. Every dollar you save is another dollar you can free up and put to work generating you passive income. Thanks for watching, everyone. I wish you well on your financial journeys. Comment below on your own journey with tips or hacks for building strong habits. If you haven't done so, smash the like button and subscribe so my future content is in your inbox. Later.